Hello, and welcome to the TalkFlow English Podcast, the show where we make English make sense. I'm Marcus.
And I'm Alina. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're unlocking the secret to mastering some of the most important grammar in English. And we're going to do it not with boring rules, but with something humans have loved since the beginning of time, storytelling.
That's right. We're tackling the past tenses, but forget memorizing charts. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how to use the past simple, the past continuous, and the past perfect tenses naturally to tell a compelling story from your own life.
Think about the last great story you told a friend. You won't believe what happened to me yesterday. In that story, you already used these tenses instinctively. Our job today is to show you how you did it, so you can do it every time with confidence.
So, let's meet our three main characters for today's story.
First, we have the past simple. This is the backbone of your story. It's the main events, the things that happened. Think of it as the bricks that build the wall of your narrative.
Form, verb plus ed for regular verbs, or the second column for irregular verbs, go, went, see, saw. Function, it describes completed actions in the past. I walked to the store. She ate lunch. Next, we have the past continuous. This tense sets the scene. It creates the atmosphere and tells us what was already in progress when another action happened. Think of it as the weather or the background music in your story.
Form, was, were, plus verb ing. Function, it describes an action that was in progress at a specific time in the past. I was walking to the store. It was raining.
Finally, we have the past perfect. This is the time machine of grammar. It takes us further back into the past to explain what had happened before the main events of your story.
Form, had plus past participle, the third column of verbs, walked, eaten, seen, gone. Function, it describes an action that was completed before another action in the past. Example, when I arrived at the party, my friend had already left.
Now, let's see how these three work together to create a mini-story. Listen to this. It was raining, past continuous. I had forgotten my umbrella, past perfect, so I ran to the bus stop, past simple.
Do you see how they work together? The rain sets the scene. Forgetting the umbrella is the earlier event that caused the main event, running.
Your first mission is to think of a simple story, maybe about a funny mistake you made, a memorable meal, or getting lost. Hold that story in your mind. We're going to build it together.
Let's start building your story. Every story needs a setting. This is where the past continuous shines. It answers the question, what was happening around you?
Start your story by setting the scene. Describe the weather, the time of day, what you were doing. The sun was shining. I was sitting in a cafe, drinking coffee. Everyone was sleeping.
Now, introduce the main event. This is your past simple action. It's the thing that happened that interrupts the scene or starts the action.
The sun was shining, so I decided to go for a walk. I was sitting in a cafe when I saw my old teacher. Everyone was sleeping when suddenly the fire alarm rang.
This combination, past continuous interrupted by past simple, is incredibly common and powerful. It makes your story dynamic. I was watching TV, ongoing scene, when the phone rang, main event. While she was driving to work, ongoing scene, she got a flat tire, main event.
Let's practice this pattern. I'll give you the scene, and you imagine the event. I was cooking dinner. When what happened? Maybe you burned the food. Maybe a friend arrived. They were waiting for the bus. When what happened? Maybe the bus didn't come. Maybe it started to rain.
Now, take your own story. How will you start it? What was the setting? Past continuous. What was the first main thing that happened? Past simple. Say it out loud.
Now, let's add depth to your story. Let's say your main event is, I was late for the meeting. That's a good past simple fact, but why were you late? This is where we need our time machine, the past perfect. The past perfect explains what had happened before the main past event. It provides the reason, the cause, or the context. I was late for the meeting because my train had been delayed. Previous past event. She was tired because she hadn't slept well the night before. The previous past event.
Let's go back to our earlier examples and add a past perfect reason. I was sitting in a cafe when I saw my old teacher. I was surprised because I hadn't seen her in 10 years. Everyone was sleeping when the fire alarm rang. They were confused because they hadn't heard the alarm test announcement earlier that day.
The key signal for the past perfect is often a time relationship word like because, since, before, after, already, or when. It helps us jump back to the past before the past. Think about your story again. What had happened before your main event that caused it or made it interesting? Try to add one sentence with the past perfect to give your story that background.
Now, we're going to weave all three tenses together into a complete short story. Let's use a simple example, a bad morning.
Let me tell you about my terrible morning yesterday. The sun was shining. I was feeling great because I had gone to bed early. I walked to the bus stop, but when I arrived, I realized something terrible. The bus had already left. I had forgotten that the schedule had changed last week. So I had to walk to work. I was an hour late. My boss was already waiting for me when I walked in.
Did you hear the journey? We started in the past, went even further back to explain why, and then returned to the main narrative. This flow is what makes a story engaging and easy to follow.
Now, it's your turn. We want you to tell your story. Use this framework. Set the scene. What was happening? Use past continuous. The main event. What happened? Use past simple. The reason why. What had happened before? Use past perfect to explain. The result. What happened next? Use past simple.
Don't aim for perfection. Aim for communication. The goal is to use the tenses to make your story clear. Remember, we use these tenses naturally when we tell stories in our first language. You already know how to do this. You just need to practice it in English.
We hope this approach has taken the fear out of these past tenses. Grammar isn't about rules. It's about tools for telling your story.
Your challenge is to tell your story to someone this week, a friend, a language partner, or even just yourself in the mirror.
If you found this method helpful, please let us know by liking and subscribing to the Talk Flow English podcast. It helps us know we're on the right track.
Thank you for sharing your time and your stories with us today. Keep practicing and keep sharing your experiences with the world.
Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.